right center. That ball is gone into Monument Park.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the 22nd episode of the Monument Park podcast. I'm Cole Weintraub.
And I'm Luke Profaci.
And since the last episode, there was a lot that didn't go right and a lot that went right. We're here to break it all down. We haven't spoken in a minute. I've probably consumed, 2 gallons of goldfish in the last, say, 24 hours. Not feeling too hot. Luke's not feeling too hot. No COVID, though. We're good to go. Hasn't been the best over here. Syracuse grabbed a dub against Liberty. Malik Willis, not top 5. He stinks. Syracuse defense locked him up, clamped up. Just a great win. But we're now here to talk about Syracuse football, because if I keep talking about Syracuse football, Malik Willis will be the number 1 overall pick. Luke, how are you doing?
I'm a little sick. Things have been happening. Yankees, 6 in a row, 6-game winning streak. I said before Boston, we need 7-2. We're 3-0 going into Toronto. The pitching matchups aren't necessarily in our favor. We have to see Ryu, Barrios, and Ray, but we're hot, and I'm confident. And Giancarlo Stanton is the greatest baseball player I've ever seen.
Wow. Speaking of those pitching matchups, I don't know. None of them scare me. Like Robbie Ray, that's cool. You're having a career year. That's cool. You know who else is having a career year? Joey Gallo. I mean, Robbie Ray, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Jose Barrios, come on. They got some good arms. They've got a good top 3 in the rotation. They don't necessarily scare me. I'm not too worried about it. We're hitting the ball. We're hitting situational hitting is what we're doing right now. You saw it yesterday, and we'll go more in depth. You had bases loaded, nobody out. You end up hitting into a double play. You score the run, but then DJ comes up and hits a 2-out base hit to bail out Urshela, who just hit into the double play. So all around, everyone's been contributing, and we're contributing at the right time. Like you said, 7-2. We're already 3-0. Just got to keep going. But let's look back, talk about those last 2 Oriole games. Luke, take the first one.
We'll probably breeze through the Orioles and the Indians games too, because there wasn't too much excitement. I mean, the bats weren't good in either the next 2 Oriole games. We honestly blew both of them in the late innings. This first one with Chad, second one with the Clay Holmes wild pitch, but we had a little rally in, I believe, the top of the 9th, and it was Wade pinch running, stole 2 bags. Glaber was also on, and Gardy hit a bloop single, so we went ahead 4-3 and won it in a game we shouldn't have won. And then we ran out of magic a little bit in the second one. We were up 2-1. Clay Holmes didn't close the game. 2-out wild pitch tied it, and then Wandy lost it in the 10th after we couldn't score with the runner on second. We get the Orioles' best punch every single time we play them, and we can just never handle it for some reason. I don't know. That game feels like a month ago. Really annoying to lose, but it's hard to look back on these with such a negative mindset when we see how clearly what we control, what we have to do. I don't know. We have 6 games left, and we have to win probably 4 of them. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it right now. But these would have been nice to have, or the second one would have been nice to have, because it was very winnable. The Orioles stink. So I don't know. Good hit.
I mean, losing to the Orioles is always inexcusable. It's never. We should kill the Orioles, and there's no other way of putting it. I don't care who's pitching. I don't care who's at the plate, who they have. We should beat them. I mean, if you take a step back and you look at their players, they got some good hitters. I'm not going to deny that. They've got Mountcastle, they've got Hayes, they've got Mancini. Those are 3 good hitters that can put you in a body bag with one swing of the
Mullins
bat.
too. He's so good.
Oh, that's right. Forgot their best hitter, Cedric Mullins. They're not as bad. because when they give us their best punch, I mean, they're not that bad. I mean, they play it like it's a playoff game. That's kind of how I see it. I mean, whoever is pitching to whoever, they don't have a good pitcher. They don't have one single good pitcher. John Means business, whatever. Because Nicky Lopez hit a home run off John Means. I thought Luke was going to hop off the John Means train, but looks like he hasn't. Yeah, the Orioles, I don't really get it, but yeah, losing that last game, especially the way it happened, Gary just looking like, I mean, just a can of soup behind home plate. Like, just, geez, like, are you that unathletic? I mean, I understand the positioning, like where he's lining up with his legs, but that's on him, or that's on him for listening. That's on him for taking that advice and going with it, because I mean, it just lost as a game. So he can't be doing that. He can't be doing that if it's going to cost us games because of the way he sets up behind the plate. Doesn't make any sense, especially with a runner on third, where you have to put everything on the line to not let that run score, and you do. I don't know. Wasn't the pitch though, like, wasn't it like way up? Like, it wasn't really in the dirt.
So there's been a lot more wild pitches recently. Mike King had one the other day. He just completely yanked it wide right. I'm not going to put that on Gary. This one, it wasn't, unless there was a cross up. I was seeing on Twitter, it looked like a cross up, but I feel like that's just an excuse. There's a lot where I'll give Gary a pass. Like, there's been a lot of like really, really bad pitches, tough pitches to handle. This one, I mean, you just got to get a glove on it. I don't feel like giving Gary a pass on this one. This one, the game on the line, you got to get it done, and he didn't. But there has been some where it's like 3 feet right, and he set up like middle to left, and it's like, what are you gonna do? But no, I don't really think. I think this is on Gary. I mean, you can't. You just got to block a ball. You're a catcher at the end of the day. I don't really know what else to say about it. You just have to get the job done.
I mean, through my time of playing baseball, um, having I've played with catchers that literally play the position like they're a hockey goalie. They'll put literally everything they've got on the line. They'll dive from one side of the plate to the other just to keep the ball in front of them. And it's just another example of how the Yankees don't do things that you see at such a young age and do at such a young age and are taught at such a young age. Like little things like running the bases or just fielding a ground ball sometimes, double clutching on a throw to first. I mean, I'm sure Luke could come up with a handful of them too. So it's like, I don't I don't like necessarily comparing it to like my playing days, but like seeing Gary Sanchez put no effort into trying to stop a ball from getting away. Sure, it could have been a crossover. I mean, the pitch was like way up and away, and it's a Clay Holmes sinker, so it's always moving. But this isn't the first time. So, like Luke said, I'm not gonna give him a free pass because I've given him those before. Those have already been given out, and I'm out of Gary Sanchez free passes. So, um, yeah, losing that last game, and I think we lost like 8 games against him this year. Just hearing that makes me want to crawl up into a ball. Um, Indian series won the first game, and it was like we never even won the first game after that. I don't really necessarily remember what happened because I don't think I was tuned in for most of it. But no, Garrett Cole got booed.
We lost a combined 22-3 or 4, I think, and it just wasn't even like. I remember it was like a football Saturday and Sunday, and I tuned in a little late, and it was like 6-1 or like whatever. And I was just can't have it. I don't know. I saw a lot of hate on Cole getting booed. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I remember being a kid and seeing like Jeter get booed if he had a rough week, or I mean, I know A-Rod was another animal. He had other things going on, but I've seen him get booed. Like, if if Derek Jeter's gonna be getting booed after what he did for the Yankees, I don't have a problem with Cole. I think they get it too. Like you got to perform or you're gonna get booed. I didn't really think it was too much past that, but I don't know. I mean, we lost 11, like got crushed in games we had to win. It didn't. I had no problem with them booing.
Yeah, I mean, we gave him all that money to be our guy, and you're telling us we can't boo him? I mean, we gave him the money. We expect things. You pay money to get to the stadium. You want to sit down and watch your best pitcher flat out dominate or just throw a good game. And when he doesn't, what are you going to do? Cheer him on after he's walking off the mound? I mean, no. And this is New York. You might see it in like a Baltimore where the fans just frankly don't care because they just don't win. But we have expectations and we pay you to pitch well. And yeah, you're going to have bad outings. But if you're at home and you're pitching against a bad team, maybe if it's against a good team, you kind of just are like, okay, tip your cap. But no, Cleveland, they don't scare me at all. They don't have anybody left. They got Jose Ramirez, they got the Franimal, and really that's it. So Garrett Cole gets booed, so be it. So now you're playing the Rangers. Now you're like, okay, here's another easy matchup where we need to bear down, buckle up, and just put our heads down and run. Am I missing? Oh, sorry. One more thing about the Indian series, because I guess I'm just gonna go on a Gary Sanchez tangent. The pop-up that I forget who hit it. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try to think about it. Who?
Francisco Lindor replacement.
Jimenez?
Jimenez. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I think it was Jimenez. That sounds right. Pops it up behind the plate. Gary just drops it. You know, and then that led to 4 more runs, maybe 5 or 6. I think they had a 6-run 7th inning or 7-run 7th inning or something. And especially for a guy like Luis Gil was pitching, like you're gonna need to give him as much help as you need to get him through an outing, and that's like I might be talking about like a diving play, like bails him out. No, this is like a routine play. So when you don't make those plays, you got to expect that the guy's just not going to be himself. And he wasn't really himself. And maybe that is himself. And we were spoiled with his first couple outings and we're brainwashed. But I don't know. What are you going to do? Like, your catcher dropped the pop up and then all hell broke loose. So I just had to rip on Gary again. I don't know. Michael King looked amazing. I mean, he's been looking amazing. And he's looked really good. And that's really good to see. I mean, what I like about it, and they were saying it on the broadcast, is he gets in there and he's no longer a starting pitcher. He's not even a long reliever. He gets in there and he can throw as hard as he can. And he's in there throwing 97, 98 with movement. I mean, and he's very deceptive. So he hides the ball and then there's 98 moving coming at you. Like it's very challenging, very hard to hit. And maybe that's his role. I mean, we're going to need guys. You see it over a long season. Like guys get hurt, guys get hurt and some dude get traded. And you're going to need guys at the end of the year to step up. And maybe Michael King's just someone who's going to be in our bullpen to start next year. And that's good to see because, you're not going to have like Darren O'Day coming into next year and, Justin Wilson. Like it's just one less guy you have to go out and sign because he's already within the organization and he's got good stuff. So I'm glad that maybe he's found a home because I think he would go somewhere else and be a solid 4 or 5 in someone's rotation and, a mediocre rotation. But I don't know. I think his home as a Yankee is in the bullpen and I hope it sticks that way. Sorry to jump back, but yeah, we swept the Rangers. Luke, take it over.
Yeah, it's just kind of put up or shut up. We had 12 games to go before it started this, and it wasn't looking great, but we knew we could play our way back into contention in that feels like that's exactly what we did. Game 1, we jumped out early, put up a 4 spot, and then kind of just rode some good pitching the rest of the way. 1-4-3. A couple guys pitched. No, nothing like very notable. I don't know. Everyone just kind of did their job, and we won easy. Chapman looked solid again. Hasn't really been melting down. You have a home run the other day, but it went from 5-2 to 5-3, so there's no problem. And then game 2 was fun. We're hitting bombs. Sevy came back, which could be I don't want to say an X factor, but a weapon. Like we have some extra juice now. We got some guy with, I don't want to say playoff experience even because he's been very shaky in the playoffs, but I feel like I guess experience, but it wasn't like he was like lighting the world on fire. But you like guys that have like presence on the mound. I always talk about that, and he's one of them. Good to see him back out there. And then on the getaway day, game 3, Kluber gave up 3 runs early. The bats looked dead. It felt like it did in Baltimore, and against Cleveland, we thought it was dead. And Iggy let a rally. Got a wild pitch, tied at 3-3 going into the 8th. Glaber double, Gia single, Sanchez bomb, and we're looking at a sweep going into Boston. That was huge. That set the tone for the big 3-game set that we had coming up. We did what we had to do. We did what we should have done. So there was nothing. I wasn't like, all right, we're back when we beat the Rangers, but it was good to see us go out and do what we're supposed to do for once.
Yeah, go back a little bit. Touch on your Severino point. Guy was young. Guy came in as our guy. Really like both times. I mean, so here's how you look at it. He starts 2 wild card games for us. He's our ace both seasons. Comes into 2019. You add a Paxton, Tanaka's still there. Guy barely pitched in 2019. Comes back for the playoffs. Didn't do that bad. He really didn't. He put together a couple solid performances that kept the Yankees in the game. They won 1, they lost another. I think for who he is as a pitcher, he's done a nice job in the postseason from where we started. He's had, some guys just never pitch in the postseason. So when you have a guy who's pitched in, I don't know, maybe eight postseason games, that's really important, especially, swing him in the bullpen, swing him because he's had starts where he only goes 3-4 innings in the playoffs and you just have to put it together with the bullpen. So maybe just giving him that ceiling where it's like, okay, Luis, 3 or 4, get it to the bullpen, or Nestor goes and then you just hand the ball to Severino. So when giving him the ball in a big postseason game, like the sky's the limit, is different than saying, here you go, give us 3 or 4 and do your job. A lot less pressure, and you can kind of dial it up a little more because you're not going the 6, the 7 innings that you expect from yourself going into one of those starts. So I like the role that he could potentially have.
I agree. Like when we had him last time, he was like you said, he was our guy. And I think what we put on his shoulders compared to the results we got may have felt disappointing. And now we're expecting something completely different, but he's still the same guy. So I think how he pitched against Minnesota and Houston in 2019 was not necessarily exciting for what we got in that situation. But if he gave us that again with that emotion in this year with the circumstances that he's under now, I think we would be much more pleased just purely based off the situation we're putting him, not even have to do with him like necessarily pitching better. So I think it'll be an important piece if we keep going, but it's good to see him back out there because he is a part of our future too.
And this is one of the more messed up things about this season is we talk about like the weapon that we could have Severino through. We got to get through that wild card game. We have to make the wild card first, and then we have to win it, and then we have to worry about it. And it's like you see all these new things that you didn't see in the past. Like big hits from Judge and Stanton. Like, and then Severino is a gadget play, a weapon. But it could all be washed away with one disappointing game. And we've seen a lot of these disappointing games throughout the season. We've seen a lot of great games this season. It's upsetting because we're seeing things that we haven't seen in the past. There's no guarantee that we'll see it next year. And you just wish you were in a better spot. You wish you knew you had a concrete position in the postseason. But then again, you have to just get there and just be the hottest team. And, that's what we're kind of hoping for. And hopefully we have enough if we get by that first game. In my opinion, if we get past that first game, we're going to be dangerous because, and I know people say it every year, it's the New York Yankees. They're going to be dangerous once it gets to October. You hear it on these like pregame shows in July, blah, blah, blah. But I think with how much pitching itself we have, we won't be in a position where we have to go J-Happ in the 11th inning. Like we're going to have maybe a Herman instead, a little more confidence, a little, more potential. We have different guys now and we can throw guys in the bullpen. You have long relief guys, starters turn to long relief. You're not going to run a 5-man rotation. So I just think we have enough and we have the bench depth. We have, the speed on the bench really was brutal last night, but we have that too. We have, good defenders. Once again, did not fulfill itself last night, but that was the funny thing about last night's game. But I mean, I think we have it all together. And then, just Luke Voigt, just, on the bench. Just once again, it's just another thing that it's just like, damn, like what if we were in first place? What if we had an ALDS ticket immediately? What would we be looking at like right now? I'd probably think the World Series right now, but we're not in that position. Got to go get through that first game. So like you said, we sweep the Rangers really good. We got to go play Boston. And, me and Luke were at the Syracuse game, but, going in, you see Cole versus Eovaldi. You're not loving it. It's in Fenway. Garrett Cole hasn't really pitched great in Fenway.
Never.
Nathan Eovaldi usually pitches really well against us in Fenway. And the Bronx, just pitches against us well. Almost, it seems like every single time you feel like every time he pitches against us, he's gonna do something. But we jumped on him, and I believe we knocked him out after 2 2/3. I can double check, but yeah, it was really good to see that. Yeah, 2 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks, and a home run. I mean, that's awesome. That's really good to see. It shows like that you're turning the corner when you do something against a guy that you don't usually do anything against. It shows progression, shows that you're in go mode. Giancarlo Stanton, the pitch was like inside, like he fought it off and he just punched it into the bullpen. Like wow. You had 2 hits from Rizzo. You had 3 hits from Stanton with the 4 RBIs. He had 2 hits from Rizzo. He still struck out twice and 5 left on, but 2 for 5. Like, I'll take it. 2 runs scored. Judge has a hit. Judge doubled. Glaber goes down and gets one, punches it out to center field. Didn't even think it was gone. Me and Luke were looking at a TV maybe 300 feet away. We were squinting our eyes to see because there's no service in there. So we're just banking on that TV. Surprised we didn't go up there and start watching it, pay our way into the suite. Glaber had 3 hits. Gardner had 2 hits. Gardner's beautiful bald head is just going crazy right now. He's just going crazy. He's going crazy. I don't know what it is. He's a beautiful human. I love Brett Gardner. Okay, I let me just stop. But just a really good set the tone. Hey, tone, just great first game against the Red Sox. And, you got game 2 coming up. I'm sorry I'm jumping to game 2, but Luke, anything on game 1?
No, it was good to get Garrett Cole. I think that was his first win at Fenway. he gets tagged there. So even getting him those runs early was huge. Getting timely hits was huge. Scoring a lot of runs. Just putting the bat on the ball, making things happen is good. It felt like not necessarily an easy win, but we got through it. The Devers home run made it a little bit dicey, but there was nothing really to worry about. And we came confident into game 2. And it kind of laid an egg a little.
You're muted. Sorry, we're experiencing a bit of technical difficulties.
Sorry. Am I good? Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, we got through the first game. Everyone kind of did what they're supposed to do. And it put us in a position to come in game 2 and jump on them. And we kind of didn't, but timely hitting did its thing again. Another dub.
Yeah, it was just all around a good second game. Oh, right. Sorry. You were talking about game 1, yeah. You had Clay Holmes get into some trouble. Wani got out of it. Chad getting the close. I mean, I don't really know how else to say it. Garrett Cole doesn't give up that 3-run home run. You're kind of deflated. You just pounced on the Red Sox, and then there goes like half your lead. And of course, it was Devers. Of course, it was off Garrett Cole. And guy owns him. It's just those whatever he throws, he hits, and it's a shame. But that's another thing about that 1-game playoff that's a little scary because it could just be Rafael Devers being Rafael Devers of Garrett Cole, and the Red Sox have seen Garrett Cole enough. It's not like Garrett Cole against the Indians last year where they didn't see him the whole season. He comes in there and just strikes out like 25 guys. It's crazy. And even the Rays last season, they saw him a few times. Nothing crazy, but the Red Sox have seen Garrett Cole quite a few times this year and have done good damage against him. But yeah, it was good to see him go through 6 innings. 3 runs is what it is. It was 1 swing and good game. But game 2, how about that, Luke? I mean, crazy.
Master hung in there a little bit. We weren't scoring, and he had a gutsy little outing. He's been full of those, honestly. He's always kept us in the game. Only had 1 run. Felt like we missed a couple opportunities in the 6th and the 7th. Down 2-1. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Giancarlo Stanton. First pitch. Hits a ball 3 million feet into the Boston sky. I've never seen anything like that in my entire life, to be totally honest. That was incredible. The whole game, it was like, that's not going to happen. We're going to get the runners on, and we're not going to score them like it's been all year. And he comes up and just turns one around, and it would be a turning point. I don't know.
Yeah. It's too bad that turning point came at September 27th, but yeah, I mean that was majestic. Yeah, I watched the whole game. I take a step out of my room before dinner and I just see the 2-1 to 5-2 instantly. Yeah, I knew when I saw the left-handed pitcher against Stanton with the bases juiced, I knew something was about to happen. Especially with how clutch he's been. I mean, you talk about in past years, I think the biggest thing after his first year was he doesn't do anything meaningful. Doesn't do anything meaningful. Even and left a bad taste in their mouth with that home run in the wild card game against the A's. Just meaningless. It was just a bomb. It was off Blake Trinan, but it was meaningless. But yeah, this year and yeah, some of his home runs that he's hit late in the games have been completely washed away, diminished by what happened in the following inning, or how the game ended. We usually don't win these games where Stanton hits these big home runs, except last 2 nights. I mean, you could say turning point. We've won, and he's been the reason twice. But how about Luis Severino with those 2 innings out of the bullpen? I mean, really kept this right where it needed to be. I mean, Michael King too. Michael King comes in a big spot. Nestor got in some trouble. I mean, they were hitting the ball. They were crushing the ball. I felt like it was the whole game. I was seeing line drive after extra base hit. Judge makes a play, basically robbed the home run. Fenway rob. King comes in, throws the wild one, but then, Buck goes down, gets 2 punch outs. Severino eventually comes in, 2 innings, 4 strikeouts, showing emotion on the mound. You get the big hit and you win the game. I mean, I had a little scare at the end with, was it Dahlbeck who homered off Chapman? Yeah, nothing's easy as a Yankee fan. So, you expect those things to happen, but just a great win, because then you win the series. And then, you win the series. You win this. Is it our 5th game in a row that we've won against Boston? Yeah. So you go into game 3 and, typical Yankee, you as a Yankee fan, you just think, like, yeah, there's no shot we win. Especially Eduardo Rodriguez, a guy who's always tough against us, no matter how good or bad he's pitching on the year. He's always comes in and pitches well against us. And he did again. Kept our bats silent the whole night. We had that, and we even had bases loaded. I mentioned it earlier, bases loaded, nobody out. We ended up getting 2 out of it, but for a minute there, it looked like we were getting more than 1, which would have been pathetic. He goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts against us. But Monty on the other side goes 5 innings, 7 hits, and an earned run, 4 strikeouts. So after that normal baseball accord, it's 2-1. Heading into the 7th inning, Yankees do nothing, goes to the bottom half. The 2-1 Yankees going into the 7th inning. Yankees don't do anything in the top half, and Boston comes back around in the bottom of the 7th. They piece together a couple base knocks and get themselves in a position to score. And after they tie the game on a sac fly from Vasquez, that ball just kept going. You get a strikeout from Kike Hernandez. Then Kyle Schwarber comes up, and I think with 1 strike pops it up to the third baseman LeMahieu, and I don't think you're maybe taught at this at a young age, but just catching fly balls, that the ball is going to start one way and go high to low and end in a different spot. It doesn't go just straight up and straight down. It's not how it works. And LeMahieu learned that the hard way, and so it gave Schwarber another life, which you don't want to do, because he's been the best trade acquisition. Everyone gives the Red Sox blank for not getting Anthony Rizzo yet, the guy who has the highest OPS since being traded. Sure, he hasn't been playing as much, but he's been a really good acquisition for that Boston team, a team that just needed to fill a hole. Kyle Schwarber on the year is hitting 265 with 31 homers and 70 RBIs and 918 OPS. He's turned into a good hitter. Besides that, pops one up to left field. Joey Gallo, our star-studded defensive outfielder who hits 215 in a career year, not even anymore. It's like 202. Runs over and just drops it. I don't know if Gardy could have taken over for it. I think how big Gallo is, you kind of just, when he says he's got it, go for it. But what the heck was that? Luis Castillo us.
I think I almost died when that ball hit the ground. I really did. DJ, you've seen drop foul pop-ups before. Obviously, it was nowhere close to acceptable, but I've seen that before. While Kyle Schwarber hit a can of corn to center field, left center field. I don't know what. I thought our season. I thought we had a window of opportunity and he just dropped it away. I don't even remember what I did after, but we got out of it. I believe they threw the runner out at second. And then you look back and it's we're down 1 run in a Yankee Red Sox game, kind of like you said when we were watching. Anything can happen. And
sorry to cut you off, but only that would happen in a Yankee Red Sox game. Really. I was telling Luke after it had happened last night, I was I sat on my bed, stared through my TV for I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes, called my dad, told him about it. And Luke came back in the room and didn't know where he went. I just thought he just, ran off like a psycho, which, warranted. I'm kind of just sitting there and I'm like coming to the realization that, it's Yankee Red Sox. Weird stuff happens. This game's far from over. Who they've got pitching and coming in? Garrett Richards. Like, he doesn't scare me at all. So get the leadoff runner on. And you bring in your great pinch runner, 17 of 21 in stolen base attempts, Tyler Wade, someone who I've come to like this year, which is crazy because I used to despise that guy because Boone loved him. And Tyler Wade, gets a solid jump, gets a Tyler Wade jump, gets to second base, and this is on a 3-1 count. So, another bad one turns ball 4. And I don't know what maybe Jose Iglesias did to, kind of deke him, but Wade just hesitates, almost like he stops and just doesn't slide. So it looked like almost that he thought it was ball 4. He didn't need to go in sliding, but you should be going in. A-Rod said it. You should be going in, as if it's a stolen base every single time. It shouldn't matter. Like what bat is going to, if he slides in, he's safe. Just a slide, like a normal, run slide, no hesitation, then stick your foot out. Like, I don't know what that was. How about when Matt Vasgersian was giving excuses for his why Joey Gallo was catching the pop-up? Like, I'm just trying to look for excuses. Like, yeah, we could sit here and talk about excuses, but look at the scoreboard. I don't care. Sorry. But yeah.
He asked I don't know who was working color with him, but he was like, you think there's any chance that those pop-ups were just like above the lights? And the guy sitting there just like, no, like there's no excuse.
A-Rod.
Like, I don't think A-Rod said it though. I think it was the third. A-Rod was.
There's only 2 guys.
Whoever he was talking to, probably A-Rod, was just like he was giving him these excuses, and he was just like, no, like not giving him anything to work with. There wasn't. You can't draw that up. I was getting like reverse Dave Roberts, like sick flashbacks watching Tyler Wade just like mess up a stolen base. It was so Yankee Red Sox. It's really like there's nothing like it. I don't know what else to say. Like crazy stuff happens every single time without fail.
Like, hey, Tyler, it's a meme, but you got one job. I'm not gonna you got one job, and that's to stand on first base, distract the what out of the pitcher, which he does well, and get to second, and then score. And it wasn't pretty. DJ ends up walking in the at bat, and that's really what turned the corner. Because if DJ goes down, then you're at 2 outs. The leadoff runner didn't do anything. Didn't matter that it even happened. So, DJ walks. Cool. Rizzo comes up, gets it just a hanger, and just pounds it. I was telling Luke, I was like, he could have hit that out. And Luke's like, "Argh." But I mean, like, I've seen Rizzo hit that out. But knowing, those dimensions, Rizzo probably would have popped up to the warning track and we would have cried. But so it's second and third. Adam Ottavino, our favorite pitcher, comes into the game. Someone who last year, I don't think I used to defend him because of how good he was during the regular season and how little he was using the playoffs. And I thought it was a little ridiculous because when he was on, he was very unhittable. Comes in, Judge pops one up to the first baseman, Bobby Dalbec, who is not a good defender at all. And he drops the pop-up. Doesn't even lay leather on it. Just completely just out of his reach, I guess. Well, he could have been in his reach, but he didn't give himself enough room to, catch the ball. So, okay, another life, right? I wasn't really thinking about that. I kind of just thought he stunk at defense, and it was just like, whatever, move on. Judge, with 2 strikes, strikes out on a fastball right there. And almost like it was like Des Bryant bringing the ball down Did he catch it? Did he not? As Christian Vasquez is kind of transferring the ball out of his mitt and kind of, looks like he's about to like stick his hand out and like, tell the pitcher, nice job. Just dropped it. Oops. So then Aaron Judge gets another opportunity and just whacks it into the gap. I was like, I think I was just shaking. I think I was having like a odd reaction to this. I was just going like, oh, it was more like that, a lot louder. It probably sounded like the boogeyman walked in my room. If you had no context, it was crazy. When Judge hit that ball like had tears. I mean, he mashed it. Do we know how hard he hit that? I think I could pull it up. Yeah, I
He hit
can.
it 118 and dislocated his finger sliding the second, which was disgusting. Like I think I saw it a lot like earlier because they slow-moed his slide and his pinky was just mangled. Thank God it's not his like throwing hand or anything. I mean, he stayed in the game. I'm sure he'll be fine. But I mean, he destroyed that ball. And the ball before Rizzo hit 115, the hardest ball of his career. Like, we were killing this guy. That's why you can't give these guys second and third chances. It was awesome. It was an awesome rally.
And Judge was so happy. And I love that. I don't care. Like, I have this stance that, like, cursing on the mic, like in nationally televised games, isn't right. I don't care what you say if you're not mic'd up. I mean, Aaron Judge let off like 4 F-bombs, and I don't care. I love it. I love it because he's showing emotion. You know who you can hear? You know who can hear Aaron Judge? The Red Sox. So, and the fans who, what it would have liked to be a Red Sox fan last night. I mean, I've been through it this year, so I can't really act like I haven't. So, Judge hits the double, and you take the 4-3 lead, and it's like you're not really thinking about like what's after this because Judge gets hurt. The whole mood kind of just stops. The hype kind of just stops. Everything kind of just freezes. Well, an Adam Ottavino slider froze over the middle as Giancarlo Stanton, 116 miles an hour, 448 over the Green Monster. That ball was murdered. And he, I think, is the only player to have 10 RBIs and 3 home runs. There's one of like 3 or 4 guys, I think, with Ruth Gehrig and another. I mean, he's crazy. He is a man on a freaking mission. You hit 115 mile an hour double, followed up by a 118 mile an hour double, and then a 116 mile an hour home run. Beautiful. I mean, I lost my mind. Luke like took off his shirt and looked like, John Ross running the 40 down the hall. I didn't even see him. He was like Flash, the freaking Flash. It was crazy turn of events. I don't know what was going on. This game was nuts. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back nights, we hit some of the most majestic, iconic regular season home runs I think I've ever seen. In games we absolutely had to win, in moments that we haven't had all year, in moments we haven't completed after the moments all year, back-to-back nights, get the lead like that, and we just win the game like a normal clutch team. And that's the sheet. We are outplaying the sheet. What I've never experienced a season like this. I really haven't, and I have no feel on what's about to happen. So I think we should just take a step back and enjoy the fact that we have even a chance to make the playoffs after what a ridiculous up and down year. we've had. But at the same time, I'm mad we don't have 110 wins because this team is so talented and you see it in such unbelievable fashion every time it clicks. And I just hope we get the opportunity to go on a run.
Yeah, this team can do a lot of special things on a run, especially with like, I don't know, a playoff Glaber. Yeah. I mean, with the way that Judge and Stanton are seeing these pitches right now, you get Glaber going. Yeah, look out. But once again, you have to make it first. Got Toronto next and the Rogers Center. Haven't played there, right? Haven't played there in 2 years.
2019, and I saw our lineup from the last time we played there. It was like some combination of like Didi, Romine, Wade. Like, I don't even know. It was a disaster lineup pretty much. I need to see how long it's been since we've been there. I'm a little skeptical about the amount of people that are going to be there with the whole COVID stuff. I haven't been paying too close attention to their attendance since it reopened, but I don't think it'll be the full dungeon. I hope it's not, at least.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a different environment if it's restricted because of COVID, which ends up helping us. Because how many people are going to want to, travel across the border during these times and go watch baseball games? I mean, they're going to stay within, and there might be guidelines that I just don't know about that restricts that. So, got to win those 3 games. Then you got to go play the Rays, who by that time, I mean, it really depends. Like if the Rays only got to win like 1 or 2 games to knock us out, they're gonna do what they can to do that. They're not gonna want to see us later. I mean, they don't want to see us later. Nobody does. If you have a chance to knock out the New York Yankees, regardless of how good, bad, whatever they look, you're gonna do it. Doesn't mean they're gonna go and use up their whole bullpen, but they're gonna try their best to knock us out. In my opinion, it's Kevin Cash. He does those kind of things. Yeah, I don't really know how much else to say. You just got to keep winning, and I say that a lot. You just got to keep winning because it's a long season, and a lot can happen, and you need to win. Just need to win. So, put the bats together, continue pitching like this, and I think we can get out of here with 7 wins. I do because of how the Rays might be looking, and just take 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays, please, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fate's in our hands, even more than it was last time. Just got to keep doing what we're doing. Hopefully, we'll talk again in like 4 days after this series, and we're feeling better, and we have 3 more wins under our belt, and we're talking about lining ourselves up for the playoffs. And that's what I'm gonna expect and hope for until then. So, yeah, I mean, this is so fun. I love pennant races. There really is nothing like this. You living and dying with every pitch. This is why baseball's America's pastime. Honestly, it's moments like this. You can't replicate.
I mean, I'd rather be playing for the division. Playing for a wild card spot's kind of underwhelming, but I mean, it is a spot. Especially as a Yankee fan, it's not like you're, a Met fan. You're trying to nibble at the bit to get to the wild card. I'm not used to that. I'm used to just getting there. And I'm in past years they've made the wild card and they've won like no issue. So I don't know. You can't really go in and think, oh, we're gonna win. Like, no, I mean, I went into those Twins and A's games, probably more the Twins game because I hadn't experienced the wild card win. But I mean, I thought Brian Dozier was looking like Roger Maris, and I, thought that a lot of bad stuff was gonna happen. Joe Mauer in the 5-hole, Luis Severino pitching like you just didn't know, and you had to have a lot go right to win that game. So I think I haven't felt it in a while, like that one game. So it's definitely going to be interesting. And if it's against the Red Sox, that's even more interesting. So, yeah, once again, can't keep thinking about the wild card until you actually make it. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know when we're gonna pick up this episode. It's definitely gonna be at some point in these next couple regular season games. Maybe if we just win through this Toronto series, we won't need to make an episode during the Tampa Bay series. We can just wait till after and then talk about the preview. But yeah, we'll just kind of see how it all plays out, and we'll be flexible with that. Lots going on at school, so not too much time to be doing this, but we're still dedicated to it, and still got to be dedicated to New York Yankees. So yeah, I Luke, anything else?
No, it's gonna make the playoffs. I don't know. I'm ready. We were looking out of it for a while, but now it's like it's in our grasp. So it's time to we just gotta win. I don't know. Let's go. It was fun. Thank you guys. This is always fun. I love doing these. See you next time.
Nope. Instagram, Twitter, you find it, you've got it. Apple Pod, Spotify, wherever. Thanks for listening and watching. Catch you guys soon. Peace.